My life is drama. I am drama. I was sick, my tummy hurt. I was like, that is how impacted I was with the fact that I'm going to be kicked out of Rahman sir's team. And I was choked because I was like, I really wanted to hear myself in the theater. That did kind of break my heart. Rahman sir came, he's like, no, I don't want this, Say it again. And he made me sing it a different way. He goes back, he plays it again. And he's like, are you hungry? I was like...
Tracking milestones of an incredible journey spanning more than 3 decades. Rahman Music Sheets. Hi friends! Discover the top take as we uncover the wow factor in this episode. Do watch it till the end to grab this musical moment of the day. Mimi and Atrangi Re. Both films released in 2021. Both had music by Rahman. Yet another common factor, Shashaa Tirupati. Her sonorous voice regaled both the films.
The first song is the theme, Ret Sara, where Naveen Kumar is going to play the flute and Shashaa Tirupati is joining us.
For Atrangi Re, A.R. Rahman won IFA trophies for Best Music and Best Background Score. For Mimi, Pankaj Tripathi and Kriti Sanon won national awards.
Shashaa, congratulations. 2 national awards. I'm sure it's a matter of pride for the entire team of Mimi.
Of course. It was very interesting to see how the award was announced and they had Hututu playing in the background. It was a very humbling moment for sure. And my heartfelt congratulations to Kriti and of course Rahman sir. I feel, you put all of it together and then you get that masterpiece. You put the audio together, the visuals together. I think it's a complete 360-degree thing that gives you that final product and that impact. So everybody, I think there's a lot of effort that's gone into this. Well deserved.
I believe you were working on 2 songs simultaneously for Mr. Rahman. That was Ret Zarasi for Atrangi Re and Hututu for Mimi.
So for Hututu, I was in Canada at the time and Rahman sir had given me a different word. He actually gave me the word Ada to sing on. So he's like, Ada. So that was a song. That was pretty much what the song was at the time. And then I think Haya. Haya was another word that he asked me to sing at the time when he was explaining the melody to me. We were recording 2 songs around the same time. There was Ret Zarasi and there was Hututu. And both of the songs, I literally sat to record. It was very hard to contain my tears at the time. It's the way the melody kind of functions. It hits you so hard for both of these songs. And I was literally internally, I was praying that Rahman sir would be like, yeah, okay, Shasha's going to sing this.
Coke Studio, launched in 2008, became a melting pot of established and emerging artists. Its bold experimental fusions quickly gained a large and loyal following. It soon expanded to various countries and evolved into a global stage. 2013, Coke Studio India Season 3 featured 6 songs by Rahman. Shashaa Tirupati was selected as a choir singer. From now on, she lived in panic mode, dreading that Rahman was going to kick her out. But destiny had other plans, something Shashaa didn't think of in her wildest dreams.
So, I was actually a friend of mine. His name is Nitish, and I will always be thankful to him because he's the reason why Rahman Sir happened for me. We had actually worked on a couple of jingles together, and I think Mango Slice was one of them for Katrina. And we finished recording a few times, and we got along. Like, you know, he became a really good friend, and he would also be a very good critique for me. So Nitish called me one day randomly. He's like, "Sun." I was like, "Bol." He's like, "Auditions ho rahe hain Rahman Sir ke Coke Studio ke liye." So I went quiet because मैंने अगरबत्ती दिखाई थी रहमान sir को for 12 years. So for me, and I was in Canada, right? So for me, it was just कि मतलब if I can stand in one corner of the room and just झाड़ू भी अगर मेरे को मारना होगा तो मैं मारेगी. So कहता है कि यार choir का है, but you know, I don't know if you'd be comfortable doing that because I was singing lead at the time. So I was like, whatever it is, if I just get to be in his shadow for 30 seconds, I am good with that as well. So he's like, ठीक है, so इस date को auditions हैं, and classical sir wanted something Hindustani classical genre में, so I was like, ठीक है. So I started thinking of which rag, and this is okay. And the interesting thing here is that this is during that phase that I had actually stopped singing. So I put the tanpura on, and surni lag raha tha. And I was just like, oh my God, where in the world did this come from? मेरे को गाने का ग नहीं आ रहा है अभी. I couldn't sing. I couldn't, you know, nothing at all. My voice was shaky, this and that. Anyways, I started practicing. And I think a week or two later was the audition. And on the day of the audition, मेरा गला बैठा था. So I was like, आज तो हो गया, that this is it. I've lost my voice. I don't know what I'm going to sing there. I showed up. I sang, in my opinion, terribly. I came out and I started crying, and I was like, that's it, I blew it. And literally a week after that, I got a call saying that I was selected. So I was given a number at the time, and there were some 35, 36 girls who had auditioned, and I think I was number 12 or something. And that's it, like that was my identity. I was number 12. And during the rehearsals for Coke Studio, I think Rahman sir asked who number 12 was. And somebody from his team is like, it's Shashaa. So he randomly, during rehearsals, he looked over towards us choir singers. And he's like, which one of you is Shashaa? And I was like, oh my God. He went back and he heard the audition. And he realized that he made a mistake. Or maybe I was just singing terribly here in the choir. Whatever be the reason, he's found out and he's going to kick me out. That's why he's asking which one of us was Shashaa. So I went and I hid behind another singer. And I was like, do not say I am Shashaa. Do not say I am Shashaa. And all the girls just cleared the way and they started pointing at me. And then I was just like, that was it. And I was like, आज हो गया रहमान sir के साथ story खत्म, शुरू होने से पहले story खत्म. And I could not sleep that night. I passed out in the bathroom the same night. The consecutive morning. And we had to wake up at 4 in the morning because we had the shoot the next day. So I don't even realize when I blacked out. I don't realize when I gained consciousness. I was sick. My tummy hurt. I was like, that is how impacted I was with the fact that I'm going to be kicked out of Rahman sir's team. So I show up for the shoot the next day and we start shooting. It was great. Just having him right in front of you. I mean, what else do you want, right? And there was this one moment where Sir had to get his touch up. So he just got up and he was just walking across and I was like, Shashaa, now or never, ask him. So I got up. I was like, excuse me, sir, if you don't mind, can I ask you a question? And he's like, yes. I was like, yesterday you asked which one of us was Shashaa. And I said, if I messed up, please tell me, I will fix myself. I said, I'll practice and I will make sure you're never disappointed in me again. So he said this thing, okay, no. Actually, I heard your voice and I felt your voice sounded like a musical instrument. And he was referring to the duduk at the time. Again, I mean, overthinker. I'm like, so he can replace me with an instrument. He won't even need my voice then. So that's how I think. I mean, ADHD, overthinker, all of that. But that was the experience at Coke Studio. And literally literally a month after we shot, I was called to Chennai to record for Rahman sir.
Shashaa, now you were about to record your first song with Mr. Rahman. But before that, I want to know your experiences when you sang and you shot for Coke Studio the song Zaria. But first, let me give our viewers a kind of a feel that what this song was all about.
I'm actually dedicating this song to a mother, and it can be any mother. God has made them as a medium, as a creator.
Rahman dedicated the song Zaria to his mother and motherhood. Collaborated with Ani Choing Drolma, a Nepalese Buddhist nun and musician, and Farah Siraj, a Jordanian vocalist. Rahman weaved his magic and gave a whole new spin to the term global music.
So I think it should be like she sings first.
I feel there are so few icons that represent what Indian music is on a global level. And I think it's no news that Rahman sir is, probably one of the top names we could think of. And the beauty of what he does is in the fact that he never forgets his roots. Come what may, wherever he goes, he will create around that. It's like, this is what, I mean, who has represented orchestral music better than, A.R. sir in films? And so that he's incredible at that. But at the same time, you'll always hear an element of what India is and what Indian music is. It could be any part of India, but he will always hold on to that and build around it. And I think that is probably why we hear a soul that we don't hear anywhere else when we listen to Sir's music. And that was my takeaway from Zaria, which is that the West is already doing the West. Other cultures beyond, the Indian subcontinent or beyond the South Asian subcontinent, ethnicity, people are doing them. So we can never do it better than what they're doing already. So what do we do in that situation if we're looking at ourselves on a global level? We bring us to the plate. He brought in a Bengali folk song, but then you see how he's incorporated the bass into that. It's like, how do you even think of doing things like that? Or, the way he incorporated the darbuka. And then ridaha, he incorporated that. And then he's got something very delicate like, tu zariya aur main zariya. He's got that. And then he's got like a choir that's, giving, these beautiful angelic backings. And then suddenly you have somebody, a Tibetan singer and a Tibetan monk who's doing a chant. How do you incorporate all of this so seamlessly? And that is his genius. But the takeaway again is the fact that at the base of it, there is India. There is the Indian roots that he celebrates in his music. And then to create out of that or to create around that is him.
Just about a month after Coke Studio, beyond her wildest dreams, Rahman offered her a song. That too, for a Rajnikant movie.
Actually, I got a call around 4 a.m. I was keeping unwell, had no voice literally. Sir got a call from Sir's office. Srinidhi had called. I was told that we're calling from Rahman Sir's office and Sir would like to try your voice for a few songs. So can you come to Chennai? And I knew I was unwell, but I was like, I'm going to at least show my face and be there because, I mean, Sir is calling. And somewhere, you know, when you're that young, you feel like, yeah, I'm going to manage or, you know, I'll just push through or whatnot. So I ended up getting to Chennai. Murthy Sir was recording me, and Murthy Sir is one. He's a stickler for. He's the kind of person. He's the conductor who's going to totally take your case if you're not going to perform, and that's what happened. I went behind the microphone, and I'm not able to sing because I'm totally congested and I'm sneezing and coughing and whatnot. And he's like, is this who Rahman was speaking so highly of? And I was and Srinidhi's like, sir, sorry, she's not well. He's like, so what? And I could not sing that day. And I went back. I was holding on to everything that was bottled up because I was so overwhelmed that, you know, he has called and I can't sing a word. And it was more about letting him down more than anything else. It was about letting Sir down, that, you know, he had faith in me and he had trust in me, and this is what I end up doing behind the microphone. So I get to the hotel room. We all used to stay at Brown Star. And I was just waiting to get inside and fall on the bed, take the pillow on my face and scream. I wailed, I wept. I was a mess when I got back to the room. And after a couple of hours, I spoke to Srinidhi and she's like, how are you feeling? I was like, you know, and by then I'd completely lost my voice. The crying didn't help. Next day, she's like, I understand. I've already told Sir, and you come in tomorrow morning and just meet Sir. And then you can go back to Bombay. And I think that was one of the most disappointing days of my life. If I were to put, you know, my top 10 disappointing days, that would be one of them. So anyways, with a very heavy heart, the next day I went to the studio, and again, Sir was just crossing by. Again, he was in a kurta pajama, and I was voiceless at this point. So I was just like, I'm so sorry. Couldn't sing. He's like, don't worry, save your voice. And then Sir said those words that, message me when you're feeling better. I've kept the song for you. And it took me another 2 months to get better after that. I had bronchitis, apparently. And he would call to check up on me in those 60 days as well. But when I was better, I did drop him a line. And 2 months later, I went into the studio in Bombay to record the song. And that was Vada Vada for Kochadaiiyaan.
Shashaa, A.R. Rahman waits for 2 months for a newcomer. Do you find that unusual?
That's the thing. I mean, there's a reason why we have so much devotion for Sir. I'm not even going to call myself a fangirl anymore. For me, it's dedication, it's devotion. There is an unsurmountable amount of love for him. There's nothing I would not do for Sir. It's like that. He's been that father figure. He's been that mentor. And he's so human when it comes to understanding human problems. He gives you that leeway. And I mean, I will never forget those words of Sir's. And I think that day he won this devotee again.
Shashaa, I'm getting a bit curious now. Not only your first recording, even your first ever meeting with Mr. Rahman was quite a disaster. Many years before you got selected for Coke Studio.
Yes.
Tell me what had happened at that time.
Oh my God, yes, that's so funny. I was in Chennai, yes. Coke Studio was not the first time I met Sir. I had met him once prior to that. And oh my God, it's so embarrassing to think what happened when I actually met Sir. That's probably why he never called me back. Srini Sir had apparently messaged Rahman sir saying that I think I found the voice you've been looking for. And Srini sir said, okay, Sasha sir is going to be at the studio, Panchatan. So just show up when you see him, pounce. So I reached Panchatan. I think after an hour and a half of waiting, suddenly I see a white kurta pajama and I see sir, and he's just like literally he's flying past like a door. So I literally have 0.2 seconds to spot him. I saw the kurta pajama, I saw sir, and I literally jumped. I went out, I was like, sir, hi! Would you mind if I sang something for you? And he's looking over there because Benny and everybody is sitting, I guess, in that little waiting area outside the little waiting room. And then he looks at me, he's like, I have work to do, probably in his head. He's like, I have work to do, but then, you know, what do I do? So he's like, okay. And he was kind enough to kind of come inside and then he started asking me questions about where I was from, what I do, what my genre was. And the fan was on and he asked me to sing something and the fan was pretty noisy. So I was like, sir, I have a really soft voice, so you'll probably not be able to hear me. He's like, oh, that's okay. And then he went and he switched the fan off. He's such a gentleman. He actually switched it on too because I was feeling hot. And then he asked me to sing something and I sang a couple of lines in Gurjari Todi. Now, I do have anxiety. Severe. And I was nervous and I can't, my legs were literally shaking like a pendulum. The composition itself is very, it's pretty fast. So it kind of goes, da mane na mora jiya un bin re kaise samjhau samjhat nahi. So that's the melody. And it's 10 times faster. So it's that was basically the tempo of the song. So I was singing this for Sir, but because I was nervous, I probably sang it at chipmunk speed. So I probably sounded like a chipmunk at that point. I was like, I think that's pretty much how it came out. By the time I was done, my entire body was shivering and I was like, I blew it. What the hell did I just do? What did I just sing to A.R. Rahman? That was my mind at the time. I was like, there is no way he's gonna call me after this, after what I just did. And then he's like, and he was so sweet. He's like, is there something else you sing? Is there another genre? I was like, that's it. So I think I did an equally terrible job after that with the other genre I ended up singing. I think I sang Norah Jones or something. I don't even know at this point. And the funniest part was while he was leaving, I was like, sir, should I leave a CD? He's like, no. And at that point, that was it. I never heard from Sir after that until Coke Studio happened. So this is again where I'd probably like to bring back that little thing I mentioned about understanding what a composer wants. I think kalakari is great, you know, to be technically proficient is great. To be able to do runs is amazing. It shows how hard you've worked at your craft. But at the same time, music is soul. It's about ruh, and it's about understanding emotion and being able to express that through your instrument. And that is something when I was not singing, but I was getting other singers to sing for myself. When I was composing and producing and all of that, that's something that I started understanding, still am, but that's where it started. And I think that phase where I was not singing until Coke Studio, I think that's something that really helped me to actually be noticed by Sir.
In the original Tamil version of the film Kochadaiiyaan, the song was sung by the playback singer and wife of Rajnikant, Lata Rajnikant. For its Hindi version, Rahman chose Sasha.
For For the second decade of 21st century, did you find this composition to be rather unusual?
No, I felt like it was signature Rahman sir. Vada Vada took me back to, Lajja se mare re ye jiya. It reminded me of that. It took me back to how na 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 na. That's so, you could feel Rahman sir in that melody. So quintessential A.R. Rahman, Vada Vada for me was that sort of a melody, that sort of a vibe. I was so happy that was actually my first song for him.
2009, James Cameron made Avatar using motion capture filming technique. Just about 5 years later, in 2014, Kochadaiiyaan used the same technique. Rahman was keen to bring motion capture technology to Indian cinema and participated in the film-making process. Directed by Saundarya Rajnikant, Kochadaiiyaan saw Deepika Padukone making her debut in Tamil cinema. Besides the original Tamil version, the film was released in 5 other Indian languages. The Hindi version of the film featured Sashaa's first song with Rahman. She went to watch the film but returned broken-hearted.
The song Vada, just a part of it was retained in the film. And the fact that it was an animated film, the songs were not really played that much, especially in Hindi. So how did it impact you?
So, again, I'm going to be very honest here. For me, just the fact that I sang that, like I mentioned, quintessential A.R. Rahman sir melody, for me, that was, that just sealed the deal. So I had no qualms about it being in an animated movie or whatnot. The thing that I did feel a little hurt was when I actually went. So for me, it was my first song for Sir. So I obviously wanted to see it on screen. I wanted to see how my song's been, my song as in, a song I've sung for him, how it would look on the big screen. And I wanted to go and hear myself in the theater. So I went with, my family lives in Canada. So I was all alone in Bombay. And I took a friend of mine along. I was like, we can go and watch if I can't watch this with my family, and they're family friends. So we went, and we're both like, we've got loaded up on popcorn and pop and all that. We're waiting for the song. And finally the song shows up and I hear Karthik's version, and which is beautiful. And it's playing. And I was like, okay, iske baad, when the female version comes, then it's going to be my voice. So we were waiting for the female version, and then there's a scale change. Not a scale change, sorry. There's a key change. And suddenly I hear the key of my version of the song, the female version. And they play it, and I think I hear a line, maybe just na 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 satarera vada 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 hum dum. I think I just heard that, and I think that was it. And I was choked because I was like, I really wanted to hear myself in the theater. Your first song for the A.R. Rahman, and you want to experience it, and that did kind of break my heart. But then, the gratitude supersedes it any day that you've sung on an A.R. Rahman soundtrack.
Seventh Son. A.R. Rahman was to compose music for this Hollywood fantasy film. But he opted out of the film because he wanted to compose for Kaaviya Thalaivan. The 2014 film pivots around the rivalry of two theatre artists in the early 20th century. This plot challenged Rahman to bring alive a bygone era through its folk musical traditions. He researched for 6 months to capture the sound and feel of that pre-independence Indian era. Kaaviya Thalaivan won Rahman Tamil Nadu State Film Award as Best Music Director. It was for this film that Shashaa Tirupati sang her first song in Tamil for A.R. Rahman.
Oh my gosh, that song is me. It's like if you were to a musical representation to me, I think A. Mr. Minor would be the perfect representation of the mood and the chirpiness of who I am as a person. So we were in a gig. Hey, Mr. Minor in the just before the show was about to begin, Sami sir had actually come up to me and he said, Ki, sir wants to see you after the show. And again, me, overthinker, like I said, I am panicking at this point. Before the show, he dropped the bomb and I was like, oh my God, sir is pissed at me. I wonder what he wants to see me for. Is he gonna like blast me for something? I was just, yeah, I was a wreck. And then after the gig, met sir and the entire team was there setting up a microphone. Somebody's sitting on lyrics. Somebody's, I don't know, sitting on the computer, setting that up. And sir just tells Srinidhi to give me the lyrics of a song. So I'm given a piece of paper with Tamil lyrics written in English. So I was like, oh, that's what he needed to see me for. So anyways, I started reading and it's foreign to me. I think 20 minutes of that and then sir's like, okay, go stand behind the microphone. So I stood. I remember, I will not forget the green AKG, I think, headphones, massive. And yeah, I think I want to steal those one day from him. That's what I had. And then they had the little, the reflector and all of that. So I actually recorded the mukra of the song and sir is telling me exactly what he wants. I could see sir's reflection in a mirror. He wasn't facing me. But every time I'd sing something, I'd slightly lean over and see sir's expression just to see if he was okay with my rendition. So, so he told me to sing this part and that was so funny. He told me to sing, oh, there's this part in the song, oh, hey, Mr. Minor in the pocket. So before that, there's like that little run. I could not sing it. Still can't. And it's so fast. So he made me sing it 25 times back to back. Oh, oh. He made me sing it like a record. I sang it and then finally, I think 24th time he got it. And he's like, okay, got it. That was it. Oh, hey, Mr. Minor in the pocket. That was such a fun session. We just recorded the mukra. And then we never did the antara. And I think, again, a couple of weeks later, I got called from Srinidhi. And she's like, we need to record the antara of that song you recorded in wherever we were. So I was like, yes! He liked it. And that song, I think it's what... I hate hearing my voice. I do not like to go and listen to any song that releases in my voice. Never listen until somebody's like, you know, listening to it and I don't have an option. But that is one song that I actually don't mind hearing my voice on. Yeah, I have very fond memories with that song.
Shashaa, this song actually reminds you of old classics, perhaps sung by Asha Bhosle ji and picturized on Madhubala.
Oh, totally. And I think that's why I really resonate with the song because I do feel I'm an old soul. I feel like I started off telling you that I feel like a misfit. I also feel like a misfit in the times we're living in. I feel I belong to like the 1920s maybe, the 1850s maybe, I don't know. 1920s would be too close to the Depression, so I don't think I'd want to be around at that time, but maybe a little before that. But yeah, I do feel like I belong to another time, and this song made me feel so at home.
Singing songs from another era has been Shashaa's forte. And there is a reason behind it. Born in Kashmir, brought up in Canada, she grew up in a house that always resonated with Indian film music.
नींद अभी भरा नहीं.
For this professional swimmer and MBA in marketing management, everything changed when her parents heard her humming a very complex Hindi film song.
Yes, that song was called Jao Re Jogi Tum Jao Re. That was a song. ये है प्रेमियों की नगरी.
जाओ रे जोगी तुम जाओ रे.
I was actually playing cars with my brothers. I have 2 younger brothers, and we were just sitting on the floor, and we were playing cars, and I was randomly just like da da na 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 na. I just sang that, and I was probably 6 at the time, and my mother was just like, she was doing something. She was sitting there watching us play. I don't know, reading a newspaper. I don't know what she was doing, but she froze, and she's like, "Mera ghar ka naam is Richa." Like at home, I'm known as Richa. So my mom's like, "Richa beta, wo wapas se gana jo bhi gaya." मैंने कहा क्या गाया मैंने? And I had no idea what I was saying. I was just doing my thing, right? A 6-year-old. So then I just sang whatever I was singing. I sang it again, and then my mom ran inside. She's like, "Suniye, idhar aiye." So then my dad came, and mummy's like, "Beta, wapas se wo gaa ke suna." And you know how Indian parents are, right? So I just sang it again, and I think that at that point my parents are like, इसको म्यूजिक की तालीम दिलानी चाहिए. And I think that is where the whole thing started. I was introduced to Pandit Jasraj ji in Vancouver. They had an institute there, the Pandit Jasraj School of Music, where my parents took me, and Jasraj ji put his hand on my head. He heard me sing Madhuban mein Radhika Naach Re, which was a Rafi Saab song. Madhuban mein Radhika Naach Re, girdhar ki muraliya baaje re. So he heard me sing that, and then he took my hands and he kissed my hands, and he's like, "You have to take your daughter to," I actually remember that, "you have to take your daughter to India." And then he referred my parents to Allahabad, and thereafter we branched out to Banaras as well because it was close by, and then I trained under Girija Devi ji, Appa ji.
Learning under Girija Devi ji, how did it change you and your perception of music?
I lived in her house with her and her other students, my Guru Bhai and Guru Behens and all of that. And I remember there was no electricity. Like, they had electricity in the house, but when we would learn and when we would sit there, we would literally just sit and listen. And I remember they would switch all the lights off. There'd be a candle, and Appaji would sing like a tumri or a cheti or a kajri, and most of it was actually just us sitting and listening. One day, randomly of the 5 days, she would ask me ki, "Acha, abhi ye gao," and she would sing something, and she would tell me to repeat after her. For example, if there's something like a Ave mi ave jane wale tenu, so she'll sing that, and then she'll ask me to replicate, and then she would correct me. So that was pretty much how the learning process under Appaji was. There was very little singing from my end, but there was so much listening, and there was a constant immersion in that environment where her shishyas would sing, and each one of them, it felt like they were all an institution in themselves. They were trained that way. It was like a guru shishya parampara ka entire gurukul kind of a scenario.
Spin.
OK Kanmani. This Mani Ratnam's second highest grossing Tamil film in 2015 had 3 songs by Sasha. Finally, this Rahman discovery found fame and instant stardom.
Yeah, Parandisellava was, oh my gosh, these are like some of my favorite moments in the studio with Rahman sir. Usually, all the singers record separately, right? Like the solo singers or the lead singers. So the male will record his vocals, then, you know, the female vocalist is called in to record, or vice versa. So both of us actually recorded at the same time. I had not done that. in the songs that I'd recorded prior to, be it in Bombay or there. So I was standing in this booth, Karthik was standing in the other booth, and Rahman sir was sitting, and I couldn't see sir because he was sitting in like the dark control room, and there was no lights on. So I remember I would struggle to see him just to see if he was talking to me or if he was talking to Karthik. So Karthik was recording, I was recording, and there's this one point where Sir was, I think he was trying to communicate something to me in terms of the meaning of the song. And that's why he wanted a specific emotion there. And so I was squinting and I was just, I was trying to see if he was talking to me or if he was talking to Karthik. And then he said, "Don't look at me like that." And I was choked at that point. I was like, I've offended him. I was like, but I'm not, I can't see him. So I was like, "I'm so sorry, sir." I said, I can't see you. I'm trying to see if you're talking to me so I could do what you're asking me to do. He's like, no, that's what the line means. I laughed so hard. I was like, oh, okay. So then he's like, that's the emotion you need to put in, that, don't look at me like that. So bring that emotion into this little. So I think that was that entire chunk where Karthik and I were doing those little scats, ha, 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 that entire chunk. So there was so much playfulness in that. That was one highlight of the recording, but the funnier highlight was I was recording and I thought it was just the three of us. So myself, Sir, and Karthik. I finished and Sir gave like a double thumbs up and he's like, "Come out." So I come out, I open the door for the control room and I enter, and suddenly I notice in the dark there was like this little shadow on a sofa, and I squint again because my eyes are still adjusting, and it's none other than Mani Ratnam sir. And I was like, I wonder when he came in here and how long he's been dealing with my nonsense. So yeah, because I was just like yapping away behind the microphone, and I come inside, I was like, oh my God, as if Rahman sir wasn't enough, there's him as well. So that was such a cool moment to actually see the people we grew up spending endless nights listening to, particularly being in Canada. For me, it was all the more because I was like so far away from where they lived, and to be in that studio where I could actually meet both of them and sing on a film for them. Yeah. Nane Vargireen. For starters, that song was really high for me. I have a pretty low, mid-low range. So I do end up losing my voice after I record songs in that range for like another week and a half I can't sing. So Nane did that. But that was such a difficult song to record because I did the whole thing. First, I recorded that song with Srini sir, and he made me record it a certain way. Rahman sir came, he's like, no, I don't want this. Say it again. And he made me sing it a different way. And I actually could not understand the downbeat because it was all on a bass and a click. And I was not being able to make, what we listen to right now as the final record version is night and day from what we actually recorded. And I was simply not able to pick up the downbeat of na na ne varigirin. Right now it's on the ne, but at that time I think it was on the na. So it was a very, very difficult session, especially with no music behind it. I didn't have a track to record to, but that was such an insane process. I had never recorded like that. And for me, what it did was that it taught me that you can actually record a song like this as well. And the entire production that Sir did was actually around the vocals. So everything was done later. He built around those vocals when he did. And I remember going back to record another song for OK Kanmani. And then he asked me, "Oh, so did you hear the new version of Nane?" I was like, "No." So then he's like, "Yeah, it goes from 7/8 and then I put it into 4/4 and sounds pretty cool." I was like, how can you be so humble about the magic that you have created there? He's insane. Such a cool person to be around and so much to take away from him.
வருகிறேன் கேளாமல் தருகிறேன்.
Sasha, with OK Kanmani, what changed? What does it mean to you today?
It gave me a lot of followers, for starters. That's one thing it did to me. But other than that, it did open up a lot of doors. I think people started noticing me after OK Kanmani. People started, I was told that people started writing songs based on what I could deliver. So, there were composers who would tell me that, we've composed a song based on what we think you would be singing. And that was based on how they had heard me on OK Kanmani. So that was extremely humbling and satisfying. And I feel that's such a motivator for you as a singer, especially if you've left everything and you've come to a foreign country. India was a foreign country for me, and starting from scratch, not really knowing anybody, trying to create a name and an identity for yourself. So that's what OK Kanmani did. And I would always add here that Rahman sir believed in me when nobody else did. So I remember I would take my CD to so many composers and be like, please give it a listen, call me if you feel there's any work, or you could use my voice for something. And nobody trusted on that. And I was a complete nobody when Rahman sir heard me. And I think to have that faith in a nobody is you need to be very courageous to do that. But also I think you need to have so much faith in somebody's capabilities. And that is so reassuring for an artist like myself, so much so that even if I didn't have the capacity to deliver, I think it would push me to work on myself to develop that capacity, just to reinstill and reinstate that faith that Sir puts into his artists. And OK Kanmani was that for me.
OK Kanmani, released in 2015, written, produced and directed by Mani Ratnam. An urban love story depicting the new generation, its attitudes and values. Its music had to be contemporary and trendy. In the film, Shashaa Tirupati sang 3 songs.
பறந்து செல்லவா
One song was sung by K.S. Chitra.
மலர்கள் கேட்டேன் வனமே தந்தனை தண்ணீர் கேட்டேன் அமிர்தம் தந்தனை.
Rahman believed only Chitra could do justice to this rather difficult song, but she wasn't available.
I was a little busy. I was out of station when he called for the recording. I didn't know that he was waiting for 3 months. He came for another reality show as a guest judge, and he told me in that stage, Chitraji, I have been waiting for you for 3 months. Then I got a shock. Why are you? Then immediately after that, we recorded that song. It was a beautiful song, and now I love that song.
In 2017, OK Kanmani was remade in Hindi as OK Jaanu. Rahman trusted Shashaa to sing the same song that Chitra had sung in Tamil.
ऐसी बातें बनाए हाय कैसी बातें बनाए
I actually did not know that it was the same situation. I also didn't know that it was the situation that Chitrama had already sung for in OK Kanmani. So the songs were different. And I wasn't told, this is the equivalent, the Hindi equivalent of Malargal Ketain, I think. Malargal Ketain. So Sir just randomly gave me 4 lines. I was recording for another movie at the time. I think I was recording for Mohenjo-daro. I don't remember. But I finished the recording and I thought I was going to go home now. And then somebody told me that, oh, Sir's told you to wait. So I was waiting. And then Sir came back. I think he or somebody handed me a sheet with 4 lines. Sun sun bhavra, kaisi baatein banaye, chume kamal aur 100 kasme khaye. I think it was just that much. And I was just reading it. And at this point, I'm clueless about what it is. Then Sir called me into his little sitting room, and he was sitting on the harmonium, and he told me to sing. He was playing something, and he asked me what rag it was. And then I think I gave like a very wrong answer at that point. They said, yeah. And then he played a few more notes, and then he got up and he disappeared. And he came back after like a half hour, and then he went into the recording booth, and some assistant told me that, yeah, okay, you have to go in now. So I went inside, and then Sir just gave me, I think it was just a pad and a tanpura, if I'm not wrong. And there's actually a really funny story here too. So I go inside, and Sir just tells me to sing one line and as many permutations and combinations of that as I could sing. So the beautiful thing here was when he told me to sing Son Son Bhavra. He didn't tell me to sing Son. He told me to sing Son Son. There we go. Still can't do it. Ha Son. There. So he didn't want it Son. He wanted it as a run. That was a task. And then he told me, just improvise on this line. And then Sir would start giving me improvisations. And oh my God, the moment Sir would start giving his ideas, I was just like, what was I doing this long? We probably started recording that song, I don't know, 2, 3 in the morning. And I think we finished around 8 when my stomach was growling. So then what Sir did was that there were moments in the song. It was a naked track, right? There was just like a pad and a tanpura or whatever and my voice. So after a while, he switched the mic, the headset off for me, and he was giggling. And I was like, what did I sing here? I wonder what he's giggling at. So then he called me out when we were done recording those 4 lines. That was a divine session, by the way, just into those wee hours of the morning. So I come around, and he soloed this section where I sang some line, Chume kaval aur so kasme. He goes back, he plays it again. And he's like, are you hungry? I was like, I'm famished. And then he got me breakfast after that. But it's just so funny how he operates, and how he finds all that entertaining, which I do too. I mean, to be honest, we're both Capricorns, so I know where that comes from. But that was such a fun session. And just to see how he creates, to see the man himself in action, how he ideates, he'll throw things at you, he'll throw the impossible at you. And he just thinks that, yeah, ye to kar legi. And I am dying behind the microphone. He does not see that. But he gets it out of you. So his initial vision does end up materializing. Incredible.
Shashaa, in OK Kanmani, Bharatnatyam dancer Leela Samson-ji plays a role of a Carnatic classical singer. Thus, the song has a touch of Carnatic classical music. In OK Jaanu, Leela ji plays the same role, but she is now a Hindustani classical singer. So Mr. Rahman changes the entire composition that is true to Hindustani classical music. In an era of remixing old songs, do you think such kind of detailing is quite unusual for a composer?
You need to be a visionary for that. You can't do it without a vision. You can't do it without, being realistic. And also you have to be very adaptive. I think the ability of him to change hats, the fact that he was able to change that hat from, Carnatic to, and from, a Chitrama singing to a Sasha singing. That also requires adjustment. It requires a vision. If Sasha were to sing for the situation, what would she sound like? Is she the right voice for this? Should I try her? Maybe, after he heard it, he would have been like, no, I think I want something a little more mature. Or, no, I think, something a little younger would sound nicer here. So he could have thought so many things at that point. But he had that vision, and he he knew that he's going to be able to make it work, and that's all him. And honestly, as a singer, every song I've sung for Sir, I find it a sin to take credit for my renditions, because end of the day, the voice is God given, the melody is Rahman Sir's, I'm just a medium. So it's I can't take credit for, you know, the stuff that I've sung for him, and all I can do is offer my gratitude that I've been a part of such legendary compositions of his. Ha o sun sun bhavra kaisi baatein banaye re, sun sun bhavra re.
For OK Kanmani, lyrics were penned by Vairamuthu. For OK Jaanu, it was Gulzar.
Singing lyrics by Mr. Vairamuthu and Mr. Gulzar. What else can a singer ask for?
Right? Gulzar Saab, I mean, with Gulzar Saab, it's even before Rahman Sir, right? I mean, he has worked with R.D. Burman Sir and with the people who my parents used to listen to. So immediately it's like he comes with those 25 extra years of, you know, the maestros he's worked with. And then you have this maestro from this generation. You know, it's overwhelming. I think when I was singing, I didn't know Gulzar Saab had written the lyrics when I was singing them. It was later that, and I don't know at what point I was told that this is for OK Jaanu, but I also didn't know that Gulzar Saab had written it.
This song in the original Tamil was replaced by this in Hindi.
OK Jaanu also gave you an opportunity to be the Hamma girl. How was that?
Yeah. I did become the Hamma girl. So Hamma, the Hamma song, I didn't exactly, obviously it's Rahman Sir's song, but Sir didn't record me for the song. Also, that was a similar situation. I did not know that Hamma was supposed to be for OK Jaanu as well. I was called to the studio by Azim from Dharma, and Azim gave me a brief of how he wanted me to sing the song. He wanted it very, he said it's going to be a very intimate sort of a setting in which the song is being picturized, and we want that, you know, that raunchiness in it, and a very suppressed raunchiness. I was like, okay, cool, let me do my thing. So then I you know, I gave it all of that jazz. That's it. I recorded and I left the studio. Again, don't know what project it was for. Don't know if my voice was going to be approved. Nothing. I did my job and I got lost. After that, I think I got a notification from Sony, which I'm subscribed to on YouTube, and that's where I saw the song name. I saw Hamma, and I think I saw my name because that's when I clicked on it. Normally I wait for like all of it to accumulate and I'll go to each song and I'll start playing everything. I think I saw my name. I was like, oh, what is this? Clicked on it and I heard the whole song, and then I heard my part. Then I think I saw my name on 2 more songs. And then I realized that these are for OK Jaanu. And then I saw Gulzar Saab's name. And I think at that point I realized that that's when it kind of, I was letting it sink in. I was like, how in the world have I sung, you know, Gulzar Saab's lyrics? Jiya Jale, I mean, and that was Rahman Sir and Gulzar Saab, and then suddenly, you know, you have OK Jaanu. I was pretty choked, actually, in a great way.
For 2 films in 2017, A.R. Rahman won 2 national awards.
तमिल फिल्म काटरू वेली इडाई के लिए बैकग्राउंड म्यूजिक का भी पुरस्कार प्रदान किया जाता है हिंदी फिल्म मॉम के लिए.
On the same stage, Shashaa too received her first national award as Best Playback Singer.
Speaker, theatre actor, and voiceover artist.
I remember at the time, I mean, I think it still feels very hazy. Definitely, I mean, I obviously I felt honored after it kind of sunk in. But in all honesty, it's what I just said a little while ago. I feel we are the medium. But at the end of the day, when we have our voice, whatever voice I have, it's not something I've created. It's a gift from God, and the song itself is something that I've not created. That melody, every note in that melody that I'm receiving an award for rendering. Every note matters. Every note that, and the way he's made me sing every note, Rahman sir. The award is actually going to that. There's just more of a burden on you to deliver, good music, to deliver good songs, to represent good music as a vocalist, to be responsible about the kind of jobs you're taking up. So all of that was what happened when the national award happened.
I put a bullet through your heart.
99 songs released in 2020. The first film produced and co-written by A.R. Rahman. Story of a struggling singer who aspires to become a composer, the film is a musician's quest to discover himself, his purpose and passion. Released in Hindi, Tamil and Telugu, 99 Songs has 14 songs. This was the first Indian soundtrack album to use Dolby Atmos technology.
Shashaa, in Soja Soja, your rendition was supposed to be that of a jazz singer. How challenging was it to get into the skin of that character?
Oh, Sir does that. He's like, oh, she'll do it. And he says that to his vocalists, and it makes you feel like you're halfway through. So I didn't think I was going to be able to deliver that song, because Soja Soja, it requires that grit. And I was like, but I think I have a very soft voice, and I don't think I'll be able to, But Sir believes in what you can do, and he will make it a point that he gets it after all those takes that he'll push you. He'll tell you to approach the same line in different ways, and then he'll somehow figure out how to get it out of you. So Soja has so many different temperaments. There's not just that grit. There's a vulnerability in that song. At the same time, there's a playfulness in that song. At the same time, there's a part that makes you feel a little emotional in that song. But the whole song itself is various emotions. It's a roller coaster ride. So to be a part of that one song actually feels like you're a part of 6 different songs. And it feels great to be a part of something that you don't trust yourself on. I think when that gets approved, I think that is such a morale booster. So Soja was that for me. सोजा सोजा रात हो गई हाँ सोजा सोजा रात हो गई सोजा सोजा रात हो गई हाँ सोजा सोजा रात हो गई सोजा सोजा रात हो गई. He randomly during rehearsals he looked over towards us choir singers. And he's like, which one of you is Sasha? And I was like, oh my God. He went back and he heard the audition and he realized that he made a mistake. Or maybe I was just singing terribly here in the choir. Whatever be the reason, he's found out and he's going to kick me out. That's why he's asking which one of us was Sasha. So I went and I hid behind another singer. And I was like, do not say I am Sasha. Do not say I am Sasha. And all the girls just cleared the way and they started pointing at me. And then I was just like, that was it. And I was like, aaj ho gaya Rahman sir ke saath story khatam, shuru hone se pehle story khatam. And I could not sleep that night. I passed out in the bathroom.
Do you agree that this indeed was the moment of the day? Is your choice different? Whatever your mind says, write it in the comments section below. We will be waiting. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon and stay entertained.